everybody, coming at you with all my might. It is Smite. How you guys doing today? Today, we're on a beautiful fall ride across the vast desert that is the woods on my 2022 KTM Husqvarna TE150. And there's a tree. All right. So, the funny thing about this bike is I love it so much. And I was just talking to one of my friends. He said he enjoys watching my videos just because the sheer joy that I have when I'm riding this bike. And the funny thing about it is I grew up on a YZ125. That was my first bike. I bought that when I was 17, and I went from that after like a year of owning it. I guess it may have been a little bit longer than that. Straight to a KTM 300. So you can only imagine the size difference in between a 300 and a 125. So I didn't treat the 300 like I treated the 125. It allows you to get super lazy, because you can just rely on the power. You don't have to have good technique. You don't have to have any sort of form, because you can just lug your way out of your problems. Like you could pick the sloppy lines. So it takes more skill to ride the 150s and the 125s, because you can't, you're limited on how much error you can have. And that's what I wanted to get back to, because there's a lot of comments I've seen that people are like, well, yeah, well, you can't climb any hills. Yes, you can. You just have to do it right. You have to have the know-how and the skill to actually do the hill, or just, the guts. So, I mean, but the problem is with the 125, there was no woods riding for me. Like, I had to, run it out all the time. I did foul plugs on the 125. I never fouled the plug on the 300, even with how soft I was riding it. But the problem with the 300 too is not only could you get lazy, but there's also, you just didn't push as hard, because you could get seriously injured, because the thing would just yeet itself into the stratosphere. Now, the funny part about it is there's so many, and I'm basically just addressing the comments about this. There's so many people that just want the most raw power, the most that they could get in a bike, but if you know how to ride, you don't need it. And then there's also a bunch of people saying I just don't know how to ride, which is kind of comical considering I've just been riding for the past 3 minutes. So obviously I can ride. Now, if you could say that I'm not good at riding, but you can't say I can't ride. What does they say? Oh, just say you can't ride. Well, I wouldn't say that, because it's a lie. I could clearly ride. It's just be more technical about your terms. My thing is I wanted that 125 back. There's just nothing like this, how this screams. It's so small, and you know where the power's at. You ride it wide open. That's what you do. But I did not do that on my 300, because there was just so much power that you could just lug it everywhere. But you still have the luggability of this. And I rode this bike every weekend that I get a chance to. I have 10 hours on the bike, and that's all me. I have 10 hours on the bike. We went to a park, two parks, and then just riding around on the weekends is all I had time to do on this bike. I love it. It's just, I cannot wait to ride this bike. I pretty much ride it basically every Sunday I get a chance to. And that's the tough part, when family things get in the way of me riding my bike. But no, for real, every Sunday I come up here and try to ride my bike, because, and I want to so bad, because this thing is just amazing. I have not wanted to ride a bike like this, like this bad, for some time. I mean, I love my four-wheeler, but I still don't even ride that as much as I try to ride this. But so for the people that said, oh, that's just gonna get old, well, it might take a while, because there's a lot of fun bike here. And I'm stoked. Like I said, I only have 10 hours, but that's quite a few weekends of riding. And I'm definitely trying to improve my overall riding ability on this bike, rather than what I was doing on the 300, and not trying, because the bike was too big for me to actually progress. And there's so people are comparing this to an XR400. This thing will walk circles around an XR400. XR400s are total dogs. Total dogs. Yeah, they have great power, but there's no rev. I have my buddy. He has his XR400, and he has the pumper carb, and he rode my YZ450 FX, and he's like, holy crap, it just rips. And that's the thing, is like, we swapped bikes, and when I got on top of his 400, I'm like, holy cow, it's just like, it's raw, meaty power, but it doesn't rev out, so it's just like lugging power, where this is more violent than a 400 would be. Granted, this still makes 30 horsepower. Like, 125s are still violent. But the thing is people just get used to them, and they're like, oh, they're not that bad, but you still have to respect even a 125. But this gives you the screaming of a 125, but yet you can still lug her down and she still wants to go. And then I've been actually running this in the hotter setting. I know when I first got the bike, I'm like, oh, I don't know if I'll ever use map 1, but obviously I got to the point where I'm actually using it quite a bit. But it's just a world of a difference compared to heck, even my 450, which you would hope so. And when I get into the, like, if I were to go hit my single track in here, I would switch over to the other map, which, with the leaves falling, I haven't been up here in a while, so I can't honestly see my single track. But no, for sure, this is, I'm super stoked to own it. The best purchase that I have made in a long time for bikes. I'm happy. It's all the thrill of the 125 with, you know, the fuel injection, the electric start, it's just a dream. It's a dream come true. I wanted to thank everybody that has given me the opportunity to get to this point, because you know, I'm at 100,000 followers. I had to do a separate video on that, but it's been a long struggle. I've worked at this for years, so it's great to see it actually come to a point where I'm gaining some traction and some momentum and getting bigger. I'm getting about 100 to 150 followers a day. So I broke my goal of 100,000 followers by the end of 2023, because it's not even 2020. The end, it's not even over yet. So that's ecstatic. I'm gonna shoot high. I think we're gonna shoot for 200,000 followers to close out 2024. A big ask, but I think we can do it. I think it's totally doable. So I have to do the math, and I can't do more than 3 things at the same time. So obviously I'm riding and trying to talk. So if I was trying to math, I would not be able to do that. So I know I get roughly about 3,000 followers a month. That's that, and then so we're at 1,100 or 101,000. My bad. 101,000 followers. So I wanted to thank each and every one of you. It's been a pleasure. Granted, most of them just watch shorts, but I might cut a short out of this. You never know. Well, you know I will, because that's what I do. So now I'm going to try to do some stupid videos, get some more shorts out. But thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being a follower, and it's been a great pleasure. Continue on, and we'll have more videos. As always, have a nice day and God bless.